Hi, this is Bruce with BSVP on site. We just finished up a great weekend of Social Boom with Kim Garst and her entire team. And we talked about a lot of different platforms, including Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. So I want to ask you a little bit more about how businesses can use Twitter effectively to market and grow their companies.
I think Twitter is one of those platforms that have been so undervalued by business owners, especially small business owners. And I personally think that Twitter for me, has been one of my top social media referral sources for traffic. So I share a lot of my blog content, that type of thing on Twitter. And I don't see a lot of other small businesses really doing that. Twitter's unique in that it's social, absolutely. Like you said, sometimes people think, well, I don't care what people are having for lunch, but people are actively searching for content on Twitter. It's a news resource for people. In some cases, news breaks on Twitter before it breaks on national media channels, simply because of the immediacy of it. And so, again, people are searching for content, by hashtags, by keywords, and if you're not there, you can't be found.
So you talk about search. I know when I usually search for something, there's a little icon up there that looks like a magnifying glass. I just click on that and type in a couple of words. You're talking about a more robust version of search on Twitter.
Correct. I mean, you can search using that little, like you say, the little search icon at the top. But if you go to twitter.com/search and even click on the advanced option there, then you can search by key phrases all the way down to things like zip code. So if you really want to find people in targeted areas looking for people that are having specific conversations around specific keywords or key phrases, for example, if you're a realtor and you're looking for people who are wanting to move to New York, for example, you can type in moving to New York, specific zip codes, and you can actually find people having conversations around that key phrase in a specific area. I mean, if you can target all the way down like that, that's incredibly valuable. That's a way to get amazing leads, and they're literally at your fingertips.
So how do you join that conversation? Do you just jump in and say, hi, I'm a realtor, come by my house?
No. Great question. No, I would suggest that you show up and give some value to the conversation before you say, hey, I have a home, you need to come buy it. I would say, for example, if you have like a list of the best schools in the area, or, things that a buyer cares about, create a value proposition for them. You're offering them something of value, something that's helpful in their search for a home. They're more likely to say, wow, that person really was helpful. Maybe I need to hire them as my realtor, instead of just being buy from me. Show up and give some value first.
Yeah, one thing I've also noticed is that a lot of people are advertising, and I found that most interactions are like in real life. You don't just walk up to someone and say bye. But a lot of people have a tendency of doing that. Why do you think that?
Well, I think a lot of businesses think social media is a magic bullet. They hear how awesome it is that, people are getting so much business from social media. So they get started in social media and they treat it like a traditional marketing machine, buy kind of thing. And it's not that. Social media at its root is life. It's, human beings. There are people on the other side of those computer screens, and it's conversation first. People are on social media to connect, to engage, not to buy our stuff. Doesn't mean people won't buy our stuff. It just means you have to start with a conversation. You have to build those relationships before people feel a comfort level. It's just like if you meet somebody in a social setting, you wouldn't say, hey, I have this great new widget on, and it's 20% off. You need to rush over to my website and buy it. So why is that any different on social? Yet a lot of people do treat it differently. So you can't do that. It is a social setting. Treat it like a cocktail party, strike up a conversation, find some commonality, be human, and you'll stand a much greater chance of actually driving sales.
And how do how does Twitter differ from like a Facebook or a LinkedIn? Because those are a little bit more formal.
Well, Facebook is kind of friends and family atmosphere. It's always been about connecting to people that we know and or that have a common interest. And I'm not saying Twitter is any different. Honestly, though, I don't really follow friends and family on Twitter. I use Twitter for business, and most people use Twitter for business. So the person that is on Twitter is different. Not to say that there aren't business people on Twitter. That's not what I mean. But the application and the way people use Twitter is so different than Facebook and even LinkedIn. So there's a lot of conversations happening absolutely on Twitter, but there is, again, that content. It's so content rich, and people are actively searching for content.
Excellent. And how can people find you on the internet?
My name is Kim Garst. You can find me pretty much anywhere on social under my name. My website is kimgarst.com.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Bruce.
This is Bruce with BSVP On Site.